Board of County Commissioners acts as a quasi-judicial body when it hears requests for rezoning and conditional use permits. Applicants must provide competent, substantial evidence establishing facts or expert witness opinion testimony showing that the request meets the zoning code and comprehensive plan criteria. Opponents must also testify as to facts or provide expert testimony whether they like or dislike a request is not competent evidence. The board must then decide whether the evidence demonstrates consistency and compatibility with the comprehensive plan and the existing rules in the zoning ordinance, property adjacent to the property to be rezoned, and the actual development of the surrounding area. The board cannot consider speculation, non-expert opinion testimony, or poll the audience by asking those in favor or opposed to stand up or raise their hands. If a commissioner has had communications regarding a rezoning or conditional use permit request before the board, the commissioner must disclose the subject of the communication and the identity of the person, group, or entity with whom the communication took place before the board takes action on the request. Likewise, if a commissioner has made a site visit, inspection, or investigation, the commissioner must disclose that fact before the board takes action on the request. Each applicant is allowed a total of 15 minutes to present their request, unless time is extended by majority vote of the board. The applicant may reserve any portion of the 15 minutes for rebuttal. Other speakers are allowed 5 minutes to speak. Speakers may not pass their time to someone else in order to give that person more time to speak.
The May 3rd, 2018 zoning meeting of the Brevard County Commission. We have a quorum, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. If you would pause for me with a moment of silence. Commissioner Tabaya.
Please stand and join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't believe we have any minutes for approval, so I'm going to move right into public comments. We don't have any consent agenda tonight. I have 2 comment cards. Mr. David Harrison.
Good afternoon. I wish to thank the board for the opportunity to speak in open forum. My name is David Harrison, and I reside on Export Avenue. Now, Export Avenue is about a quarter-mile long, and it is a road that is surrounded by Everett and Falcon. Now, there's 20 homes on Export Avenue, 6 of which are vacant lots. 2 of them are being developed, and it's those lots I wish to talk about today. According to information that I've been given by the Department of Environmental and Natural Resources, these lots are being developed by Kingston Construction Enterprises. Now, we have 4 issues. We have 4 concerns. And these concerns, we think, are substantial and significant. The first concern is that the lot has fill dirt that's greatly above the other lot lines elevations. Now, we're concerned because this elevation will cause runoff from rainwater to go into other lots nearby. The reason why is that Export Avenue doesn't have great drainage. In fact, during the last 3 years, we've seen significant pileup of water, such that our own driveways and front yards have flooded. So much so that our septic systems became inactive. Now, we know that it's difficult to manage rainwater, but we feel that there might be options. And we come to the board today to seek those options. Now, we've gone to code enforcement, we've gone to the Department of Natural Resources, and we've reached out to the building department. And they've not given us any solution. They merely say that there's a minimum requirement. We understand about the minimum requirement. We don't want anyone's lot to flood. But what we're concerned about is that there's no maximum requirement. That is the big issue for us today. We request that the board help us to resolve this problem. One approach we feel might be helpful would be that if you reach out to other departments and help to determine that the elevation filter that they're using is too excessive, we wish them to reduce it down to the minimum requirement. Simple. We wish also that the board reach out to other areas, other departments, and find a way to manage the runoff water. And thirdly, we wish that there be an improvement in the process of permitting, such that there's an examination of surrounding lots so that they can be protected for new development. I thank again the board their time, and have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mary Ann Harrison? I think it might be mine.
Hello, I'm Mary Ann Harrison. Thank you for seeing and hearing us. I also live in the same house that the previous speaker just discussed, 7195 Export Avenue. Export Avenue is a little street in Port St. John's. Port St. John's is a nice little community. And what is happening is, we've been on this lot, we've been in our home, we're original owners, 27 years, and we've been paying taxes for 27 years. And during that time, when we moved in, we never saw any water puddling. And during that time, little by little, we see more and more, because I think the topography of our street has been changed, and the area around it, by building. Okay, so we want to protect those new occupants, and I understand that, but I don't believe in my heart that it's fair that that builders and the new occupants have an advantage. I think that everybody needs to have fair treatment, and I don't feel that it's fair that our properties are suffering now. Already we have seen evidence of this new lot that has just been filtered up to here. If you stand on the neighbor's lot next to it, the filter is like, oh my God. So they're building little hills. Well, I understand why a builder would want to do that, because that makes their property very, desirable. But what about the neighbors around that property that are suffering now, water dripping? And already we're seeing results even from that little rain we had. One of the neighbors was talking to us, and because we are a community, about how he's never seen water in his backyard where his septic is. And so, especially because we're a septic system community, this really, we ask you to address this, to stop this. We want to have a maximum. And I would ask that the person who is building this have to be removed some of that dirt, because it's just making it too high for the neighbors to protect their properties. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, we're going to move into public hearings now. Item 4A.
Yes, there's a couple of items that have requested to be tabled tonight, and I don't know if we want to hear those items first, if you just want to proceed throughout the agenda accordingly.
Maybe we should go
That's
ahead
really
and
up to you.
table so people can go ahead and leave.
Sure.
Okay, do you want to move us to those items?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
The first item that has requested a tabling is item 4D, and then the next one is item 4F. So if you prefer to hear those first.
Okay, Ms. Rozenka?
Good evening, Chair Pritchett and members of the County Commission. I'm here representing Horizon Title LLC, and we're requesting a continuance to the May 24th meeting so we can make some adjustments to the PUD.
I'm okay with that. I make a motion that we table to the May 24th.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. See you in a
Thank you.
couple weeks.
And the next item is item 4F, and it's with WKNR Groves, represented by Chad Giannone.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Chad Giannone with Beachland Managers, requesting this item be tabled to the August 2nd meeting, I believe it is.
Okay, I concur with that. Make a motion that we table to the August 2nd meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0.
So I'll go back to the first item on the agenda. Item 4A is a request by Jeffrey D. and Karen Atwell, requesting a change of zoning classification from GU to AU in District 1 on a property that is 1 acre in size. I believe the applicant's here. Go ahead.
Hi, how are you, sir?
Pretty good. I'm Jeff Atwell, live at 3775 Felder Street. And the reason we want to get it changed to AU is I'm wanting to start bees and also would like to fix up where I can extract the honey right there on the property, and that's what we're working for.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. What's your pleasure, Commission?
I make a motion we approve the zoning change from GU to AU.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 4B is a request by Matthew Strickland, represented by Sid Shayab, for a change of zoning classification from AU to RR1 on a property that's 2.96 acres in size located at 2155 Tomato Farm Road in Mims. I think the applicant is here as well.
Good evening to you. My name is Sid Shahayib. I'm with Consulting Civil Engineers at 3650 Bobby Lane in Titusville. And here's with me is Matthew Strickland.
I live at 2155 Tomato Farm Road, Mims, Florida.
This site is zoned AU, and we are asking for RR1. And RR1 is typical for the area around the site, and it's consistent with the future land use. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy with you. The reason we are doing this is to have a lot split, basically, and it's 2.95 acres. And we're going to have two houses built on this property instead of one.
Yes, sir. I'm good with it. And you're just basically imitating what a neighbor has done recently, so it's consistent.
Thank you.
Commission?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Item 4C is a request by Claire John Jousey and Janet Hamilton Jousey on the revocable trust, proposing a change of zoning classification from EU to SEU on a property that is 7.04 acres in size, located at 1655 North Tropical Trail in Merritt Island.
Good evening. I'm Claire Jousey. We live at 1655 North Tropical Trail. And this zoning request is to change to SEU, which I believe makes it appropriate with the current and future land use. Purpose of it is for a 6-lot subdivision.
I need to declare I went and looked at the property, and I have no problem with this. And with that, I make a motion to approve SEU zoning with 5 single-family homes.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Item 4D we tabled, so I'll move on to item 4E is a request by Justin and Lillian Uni requesting a change of zoning classification from AU to RR1 on a property that is, on a property that's 2.64 acres in size, located at 1500 Dalbora Road in Merritt Island.
You're Mr. Yanni? Uni.
So I do have a piece of property. It's 2.64 acres at 1500 Delbora Road in North Merritt Island. I'd like to rezone it. It matches what your comprehensive plan says for future use, is Res 1. So I'd like to rezone to RR1, split it into 2 lots. The 2 lots would be 125 by 125, a little bit bigger on one of them, and I just want to do it to, I'm going to gift 1 lot to one of my children for a house and keep 1 for my wife and myself.
Thank you, sir.
I have no problem with it at all, and I'll make a motion to approve from a zoning classification of AU to RR1.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and you guys tabled item F already. Items F and G were a request by LTM Holding, and that request has been withdrawn.
Thank you, ma'am. We are moving now into board reports. No more public comments, yeah. County manager?
No report.
County attorney?
No report.
Commissioner Isnardi?
I just wanted to recognize the National Day of Prayer. I think a bunch of us were at different places where the community needed us, but the Mission Church and Dove Bible Club did a nice event where me and my Community Affairs Director, Vic Lubker, were out and part of the ceremony, and it was lovely to see people come out and celebrate God and celebrate the impact that He has on all of our lives. And, you know, I hopefully each year it'll get bigger as more and more people realize the importance of faith and of God and of Jesus Christ. So next year we're hoping to make it even bigger. We're already talking about plans for that, so it was fun to be a part of.
Amen. Commissioner Smith?
No report.
Commissioner Tabaya?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is the first meeting I've been a part of where we've unanimously voted on each and every item that has come to our agenda. I wanted to ask a question of the board. Mike Chatham is the owner of Movable Roots, which is a tiny home manufacturer in Brevard County, actually in Commissioner Isnardi's district, and he offered to bring one of his tiny homes, I guess, for us to look at for our next meeting. The reason being is, as I'm sure you've seen the agenda, we have some pretty transformative changes to our code that would potentially allow for this type of housing in the future. So I didn't want him to bring it if you guys weren't interested. I know, you know, to park one of those things and bring it all the way. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. I know he travels around and you know, beer fests and all that stuff. But if you've never been to one, it's really interesting. So I just wanted to hear what you guys' thoughts on it.
I love it. I love the concept.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, I hear at least 2 other people. I will hold you to a 30-second at least tour of it, but it's a really interesting idea. So anyway, thank you, Madam.
He's going to take it outside?
Oh, it will not fit in here.
Because I thought, how tiny is this thing?
Yeah,
So.
if he could fit it in here, that would be amazing, but I think it'll be out there somewhere. Thank you,
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Barfield?
Yes, this morning I went to Brevard Neighborhood Coalition, which now they've changed the name to Neighborhood Up. And it's basically a coalition of a number of different organizations for affordable housing, for youth, for intervention, for helping people get on their feet. It's a Christ-centered organization, and it was very much, very enlightening, and it's a very excellent organization. It was a great way to spend the National Day of Prayer this morning. So it was just impressive. Very gives me something to do once I get out of being a county commissioner.
I'm sure you'll be looking for things. I have no report other than I wanted to mention this is the first meeting we've had with Ms. Bentley that's been less than 5 hours. So on that note, I call this meeting adjourned. Y'all have a great weekend.
The opinions expressed by any member of the public during any period of public comment do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, or the program sponsor, and are solely those of the presenter. The Board of County Commissioners of Brevard County, Florida, Space Coast Government Television, and the program sponsor hereby expressly disclaim any and all responsibility or liability for any defamatory or slanderous statements expressed by any member of the public during any such period.